Hello viewers, Would-Be Ben here with another Pacific Northwest seafood special. Today we have spot prawns. This is something we look forward to in the springtime, fishing for spot prawns in Puget Sound. And nothing is sweeter or better tasting than a fresh spot prawn. I'm going to show you how to clean and prepare one of these for cooking. First, a few safety notes. These spot prawns have lots of sharp pointy things on them. This point on the tip here is literally as sharp as a surgical hypodermic needle, and there's little spines hidden in the tail as well. So I always wear gloves when handling these shrimp. Ideally, as soon as you catch these shrimp, you're going to want to keep them in some cold water and keep them alive until you're ready to clean them. We typically will clean them on the boat heading back into the dock. But if you happen to get some spot prawns from the store and they're intact, you can still use the same techniques to clean. Another point on the anatomy of a shrimp, the part that we eat is just this tail section here. There is a vein that runs down the back of the tail here that is typically dark in color, and although it's perfectly edible, it's not very appealing. So most people choose to devein their prawns or shrimp to make them more appealing when you cook them. I'm going to show you a technique that works most of the time to devein at the same time as cleaning them. The vein in a spot prawn is basically attached in 2 points. One is in the digestive system, which resides inside the thorax here, and the other is in the tail spike. When we clean these shrimp, we're going to try to remove that vein from one of 2 directions, either out through the back or through the front. When I clean one of these spot prawns, the first thing I do is break off the tail spike. So you can do this most easily by pulling it up like that, and then you just kind of grab it and twist it off. Now this one, the shell came off without the vein, but now the vein's not attached to anything. The next part of the cleaning process is to grab the thorax with one hand, usually your dominant hand, and the tail just behind the thorax with your second hand. So, like that. There are 2 little spots here on the shell, that's why they're called spot prawns. I usually just grab them right above the spots. Then you give a little twisting motion, and you separate the body from the tail. And as you pull slowly, you see that? That was the vein. This one broke off and slipped back inside, so that one wasn't so successful. But if we grab this piece sticking out of the tail here, maybe we can pull it out that way. Yeah, this one we'll have to clean. I'll show you how to clean this the old-fashioned way. Let's try it with another prawn here. So again, we're going to break off the tail spike. Now the vein didn't come out that time, but let's see if it comes out this way. If you straighten out the tail, you may increase the light. See, that's the vein being pulled out there. And in this case, that's the whole vein. So if you use this technique, probably about 75% of the time you'll be able to get the vein out this way or attached to the tail spike. Let's try one more. We're going to break off the tail spike. Vein didn't come out that way, but let's try this way again. There's the vein coming out right there. See that? Now if you leave some legs attached, you'll want to pull those off because there are gills attached to the legs, and those aren't really edible, so those come off and go with the heads. Let's try one more. Alright, tail spike. I'm kind of hoping to show a vein come out attached to the tail spike one of these times, but yeah, it's just not going to happen today. You see the vein? In this vein you can see the color in it. See how it's kind of black? So there we go. Okay, now let's prepare these for cooking. We have removed most of the veins during the cleaning process, but some of these may still have a vein in them. To prepare them for cooking, you're going to need to take a pair of scissors. You're going to insert the scissors just under the shell in the center of the back and just cut straight up the back. Just like that. Now, you can peel the shell apart here. And in this case, we can see this one is one of the shrimp where the vein didn't come out. That's this little black line you see there. So we can remove that simply by using a toothpick, going underneath it and lifting it up. And you just pull it out. The other way you can remove it is to take your shrimp and just hold it under some running water and rinse that vein out. So anyways, if you're going to be cooking them right away, you peel the skin off by peeling apart the shell. You want to get kind of between the shell and the flesh of the shrimp. And incidentally, this is actually easier if you leave your shrimp in the refrigerator for a day. The skin loosens up from the shell just a little bit. So we're just going to peel this back. And I'm going to grab the tail piece here and just break it off here. So we've got the shell that can be used to make stock. And now we have the tail still attached, because sometimes when you're cooking you want to have a tail for a handle, like if you're making panko or coconut shrimp. Now if you're going to be making tempura style shrimp, they lay flat, and if you were just to cook this as it is, it will cook and it will curl up just like this. So if you're making scampi or just sauteing the shrimp, they will curl up into this shape, which is perfectly fine. But if you're going to be making tempura shrimp, you want them to lay flat. So in order to achieve that, you need to take your cutting board, and you see how the shrimp's curling in this direction. Well, we're going to lay it down flat, and we're going to use a sharp knife, and we're going to make a series of slits. In the flesh, and this will just allow the shrimp to lay flat. Now when you cook this, it will stay flat. And if you've been to a Japanese restaurant and you order the tempura shrimp, you wonder, why isn't that thing curled up? Well, that's why. So that's how you would prefer this for tempura. Thank you for watching, and if you find this video helpful, hit the like. Thank you.